Hey, welcome to another edition of Purpose for Forever. I am Anthony Walker. This is my wonderful wife Samantha. Hey,
Hey, that's
hold on. Let me make sure we got that right here. All right.
Okay. Though we crazy far away from it. Go
You
ahead.
feel like too far? All right. We're gonna drop our intro. We're gonna try to move a little closer there. So we appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. Thank you for everything. And yeah, we're gonna go live. We're gonna drop this intro and take care of some technical difficulties, and we'll be right
Me
back.
and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing ever tear us apart. Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing ever tear us apart. Me and you together, our purpose for
Hey, that works. Welcome back. Make sure you hit it. All right. Okay. All right.
Yes, welcome back.
Welcome back. So today we are recapping. We are in our 2-year anniversary. Woo! Papa.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's been enjoyable. Listen, I know last year we kind of celebrated a lot more. This has just been kind of a crazy month. Um, but we are still excited to have another 2 years. Make sure you share, like I said, and join our text community if you haven't already. Text LW into 84576. Text LW into 84576. Be a part. I was trying to see if you're looking. How's it looking?
It's looking like us in.
Looking like it's looking. All right. So, like I said, make sure you share. Make sure you tag somebody. If you're in YouTube land, make sure you tag somebody, inbox everybody, and let everybody know that we are on.
And we're back
we're
because
back. Yes.
we have not been here the whole month of August.
It's been a whole month.
This is our first time coming live.
Right.
The whole month.
Right.
Which is probably why we have no viewers. Because we have been away from you guys on this platform anyway.
Yes.
We have been away. Like you said, August is the month that we celebrate our annual anniversary of starting Purpose Forever.
Yes.
And so we are 2 years in this year and doing this. And like I said, this is the first week in August we have actually been able to come on. And mainly because, not gonna say we've been too busy, but we've been attending to other needs. We started this journey kind of like when we started the journey back to each other.
Right.
And the purpose was kind of to share our story and to inspire other people. I don't know, to try again, to love again, all of that.
Thank you, Keita. Hey.
So that's what we've been doing. Well, that's what we've been striving to do these last 2 years, is to inspire other couples, to try a little harder, go a little further. In the process, we have established a pretty good group.
Mm-hmm.
So what you guys see online, sometimes you get to see our group in various settings because we do various things.
Right.
So Purpose for Forever is not just us coming on here on Monday nights. It's a whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. We have started, it's a whole new lifestyle for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone way past just he and I. I believe is a total of about 6 couples on a regular.
Right.
And I know to some people you're like 6 couples, that's nothing, but it's perfect.
Right.
The chemistry is great.
Yes.
The conversation is great and
Yes.
real and authentic.
Right.
We don't have to worry about privacy or worried that something's going to get out.
Right.
Everyone has been very adult,
Yes.
very open
Yes.
to the possibilities,
Yes.
open to sharing their story, to just doing some things differently.
Right.
So it has been a great learning experience
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
I hope that some of the other couples get something out of it
Yeah.
as well. But for us, we truly have learned a lot. I know I have, not just about myself, but
Right.
kind of about him too.
Yeah.
And then about our relationship. For a long time, I never understood how he could go to work and he was Mr. Wonderful. Everybody loved him.
Yes.
When I, go to his job, everybody spoke well of him. Same thing at church.
Yes.
Everybody loved him. He was so great and he was wonderful. And then he would get home to be my husband and he had nothing
It's done.
left.
Done.
I got nothing. I got the scraps. I got the what'd you cook and that's
Yeah.
like that was it. And I
Yeah.
never understood like how all these people where's the wonder and why does it never make it home?
Right.
So in these 2 years I've kind of learned a lot about his interaction kind of with other people and then the difference that interaction takes on when he got to the door.
Right.
Of course, because once you open a door, it's kind of like when real life begins.
Right.
It's easy to go to work
Yes.
and do your job. It's
Yes.
easy to tell because, oh, hey, so great
Yeah.
to see you.
Yeah.
Because you are experiencing those people for maybe 1 to 7 minutes at
Right.
best.
Right.
So that was really, really, really easy. But to come home
Yes.
and it's the same disappointed face
Right.
that you left in the morning
Right.
is still there staring at you is a whole
Right.
different it was a whole different thing.
Definitely.
And I had to learn that.
Right.
Because I'm still disappointed from the morning and now he's home and I'm not excited about that either.
Right.
Because all I could think about was the disappointment.
Yes.
So I've learned, for myself, that I was focusing a lot on the wrong things.
Okay.
Because I focused more on what he wasn't giving me or
Right.
what I felt like he wasn't giving me or
Right.
what he wasn't doing.
Right.
And I didn't notice some of the things that he was doing or some of the things that he was giving to me. So it's like I minimized all the good
Right.
and I maximized all the things that made me sad.
Right.
So even though he was doing those things,
Right.
I kind of made my own self miserable
Right.
in a way.
Interesting.
And I had to learn that. Like, no matter what people said, it just didn't register. No matter, how much great advice I got, it didn't hit me. None of it mattered. All I knew was, why should I act any different? Because
Right.
he's just gonna.
Mhm.
He always, he
Yeah.
never. And I never realized the power that those words had over my own feelings.
Right.
Like long before it got to him, I already had a lot of feelings behind those words that I replayed in my head every time
Yeah.
I knew he was about to walk through the door.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest things that I learned. And like I said, about me,
Yeah.
because a relationship takes 2 people.
Yes.
And even if he does everything that I want him to do, and it's not in the time that I think he should do it, and I focus on the fact that, well, you did it in August, but you didn't do it in July,
Right.
you missed the bigger picture.
Right. I think for myself, this whole journey, we talk about getting back together, but the broadcast and having the opportunity to share be open, having to really be open, authentic, and honest, because it's one thing like if I'm on by myself somewhere and I'm talking about my relationship, it's easier to just talk junk because there's no she's not there to make the face to check me in. She may not check me verbally, but her face would be like, that's a lie. But it's kind of taught me to be our relationship open, and even coming on, there'll be rough Mondays, there'll be good Mondays, and just to learn to navigate through that. Now, what I learned personally, I'll say learning about time, quality time, also learning to express what I'm doing. Now, let me explain that. So it's, in my head, as a guy, sometimes you got so many things you want to do. And like, she would ask me, because her thing is, let me know what's going on tomorrow. Right. So side note, you as a leader, a male in your household, you're leading. If you have something or goals and things like that, your woman wants to know, hey, what's the goal? What we doing? And it, you get there by daily steps. So she would ask me, what we doing? And I'd be like, nothing. Or I'd give her like one thing. Knowing in my head, I got like 10. So, I get up and then she's like, what we doing? Then I start busting out, rattling what I'm doing. And, for her, it's like, okay, I thought, I asked you yesterday so we can kind of formulate the day and what we got going on. Because not only are there the things that are presently needed to be done, there are things that need to be worked on for the future, but then there's us. So it wasn't just us, but it's just where are we going, and that was a part that I kept. It's kind of like, hey, you play football, you kind of fumble like, oh, flag on the play. let's dial it back, let's try it again. What we doing tomorrow? So it was learning to express what we are doing, what we're accomplishing, where we're going, because a lot of times in your mind, you as you start running, and I won't just say as a man, because I know some people just could be ladies, it's just in your mind, you got it going and you start running with it. But you got to let your partner know where we're going, what we doing, just what does tomorrow, what is it going to look like? What are we doing? So I had to learn that. And, like I spoke about before, just and fine tuning the quality time, fine tuning the time I spend with her. Because it's true. My 5 to 7 minute interactions, boom, I'm on it. What you need? I got you. Hee hee, ha ha, let's do it. Because outside, and I would tell her, I'm like, outside, I could wear this mask. I got it all day. I put it on, I'm working because it's working and purposeful, and no one really cares about how I'm doing. They just want me to produce. And honestly, let's keep it real. Even if in ministry, sometimes, like, not that pastor doesn't care. It's just like the people need, like, I'm running something, I'm doing something. I just need you to produce. Now, if you fumble and you're not, they're like, hey, you okay? But just produce. But on a regular, like, she checks me like, hey, like, what's going on? How you feeling? But I come home, I'm done. I'm giving out, but now I don't have anything left for her. So it's learning how to leave everything outside, come in kind of refreshed, and be able to give to my family. Explain like the day, oh man, it was crazy, boom, 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 boom. Now it's me and you, and spend the time and not continuously live out the day out there with all that negative energy and tiredness or whatever and bring it home. And yes, she understands that I'm tired, but she also wants some time with Mr. Wonderful. She wants the wonderful time. And I get it. Because if she was the same, I would feel the, same way. Because she knew how to leave it outside, hit the reset button. All right, boom. Now I'm mom and I'm wife. So she was great at that. Me, I was like, right. I was employee, working in the church, and husband. Like dad, like when they were young, the dad was like, Dad, let's go. Yeah. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I can't husband nothing. So it's learning to balance those things out. The great thing is, about the broadcast, about doing Purposeful Forever, which is kind of like different than Brothers of Legacy, Brothers of Legacy kind of led the broadcast. This kind of picked up in the rear. Like, so we were building it together, and this is like, let's go live and talk about it. You know, we start doing the couples, let's go live and talk about it. Let's get some couples on and talk about it. So this one was more or less the result of, you know, as opposed to a leading thing. You know, this is, it helped. Now, I will say the broadcast helped just bring couples on, talk to them, get their stories. And then because probably most are local or in the area, you know, we started doing things that were connecting us and, hey, let's have this and dinner and stuff like that. Of course, COVID kind of slowed, just jacked everything up. I mean, you know, I'm sure us, just like a lot of people got stories like, man, we was rolling with this thing, but then it locked everything up, you know, because we started some weekly. But anyway, so I think, you know, coming back slowly, you know, and having little events and things like that, it just, and learn from other couples, you know, the thing, and the things she would think that's just me. It's like, oh, you guys are crazy, you know, like
that don't make it right though.
Yeah, it don't make it right, but it's just like, you know, she understands that she's not the only one that's dealing with it, and then she maybe learn techniques of, okay, this is what I did, and then I can bounce off of guys about certain things, and it's you know, from the beginning, and like she said, when we first got together, I just wanted to be around other couples that were like-minded. So it's building off of that, and like I said, this broadcast is kind of like the back end of the experiences, and we got to the point, you know, we were getting comfortable. I had been doing this a while, and she was starting doing this a little bit, getting comfortable sharing our journey. So it's been a great 2 years. There's many more, but it's been helpful, just coming on and discussing what we've learned and just the craziness of relationships and some of the craziest things people look at as relationships, and not just being together, but intentionally being together and being happy, or at least wanting to be together and having fun together and enjoying. I think, you know, we miss out too much on the enjoying part of relationships. We don't enjoy our relationships like we should. You know, I think they just become at some point during the timeline, it just becomes something for you to complain about. You know, like, let them do the bare minimum, and I just go to my girls and complain, or I go to my boys and we complain about the ball and chain.
Out of being happy.
Right.
You talk yourself out of being happy, because, I mean, nobody's perfect.
Right.
And I'm not telling you, you know, to lower your standards or any of those things. But I will say, if I go to a restaurant with somebody and we out and we talking and we enjoying ourselves, and I look at their plate and they have mushrooms on their plate, now I start feeling sick from the mushrooms that's on their plate. Okay. And I've already determined that if the mushrooms was on my plate, oh, this food would just be awful. Now my plate don't taste as good because I'm focused on what's on their plate. Right. Relationships work the same way. We watch stuff, we see stuff, we scroll and things happen. Right. And we develop that I wish he would attitude. Right. Or I could never, or that'll never be me. Right. And we bring that home into our relationships. And sometimes something that can be going totally a different way, we convince ourselves that this is what's happening and this is going to lead to that.
Right.
And I would never. And so we talk ourselves out of being happy before we even get there. Right. We convince ourselves, I'll never forgive this. Yeah. I'll never put up with that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not telling anybody they should be abused, mistreated, disrespected, none of that. Right. But I'm also saying some of the things that I think we consider deal breakers based on what we've seen in other people's relationships aren't really deal breakers. Right. I mean, like, we haven't decided for ourselves, you know, what it really is. Like, you've ever seen where people can how can I say it? It's like, you ever seen somebody get hit? Like, oh, the Facebook videos. Like right now, they got the crate challenge, right? And sees people going up the crate. You know, that if you watch it hard enough, you be like, oh, you know, you doing that. And then when they fall, you like, oh, I felt that. And it's like, really? You know, like, and we convince ourselves, you know, that, you know, it hurt us. And it hasn't even happened to us. And I think sometimes we do that in our relationship. You know, like, fine, maybe your husband's having an off day, whatever. He come in, he slam a door. I know you're not slamming doors immediately because we convinced that he's slamming doors and he being disrespectful. You know, he come in, maybe it's been a long day and he a little slow to speak. Or he drag, don't come home like that. Mr. Charlie ain't get that attitude. And already you put your spouse on a defense. And husband, same thing. Sometimes you come home, maybe your wife had a long day. Maybe she's not feeling good. Maybe she's been sick most of the day. Really? You been here all day, you couldn't cook? You know, we convince ourselves, oh, you already a stay-at-home wife. You can't cook and have food ready when I come home. Because Johnny wife got food on the table when he come in the door. I mean, we take some of these unrealistic standards and unrealistic things that we see, I don't know, on Facebook, that we see in other couples, and we bring those things into our relationship. And those things, those extra things, that extra weight, no relationship needs that. No relationship needs that. Like I learned the hard way, you know, that I just had to focus on us and one day at a time. That's it. I don't focus on what happened yesterday, because even if you try to get somewhere and you keep turning around, you'll never get where you want. Or if you got so many bags, and you know, you got yesterday's bag. Now you pick up today's bag. Then you get to tomorrow. You take tomorrow's bag. By the time you get to Sunday, you're so weighed down that you can't even enjoy a weekend day because you just keep dragging things from one day to the next. So we have to, you know, sometimes you really have to choose your battle. Like, is it really a fight-worthy offense? Or is it one of those things where, you know what, you probably could take a deep breath, go on with the rest of the day, and 2 days later say, honey, I really didn't like when you did this on Monday. And sometimes you'll be surprised by his reaction. Whereas on Monday, if you just tear into him, there's a part of him that's going to be defensive, even if he's wrong. It's just natural. When you feel attacked, you defend yourself. Even if you're rightfully attacked, you're still going to defend yourself. But just that that 20 seconds it takes you to take a deep breath might be the game changer. Like, you know, we I'm sure most of us have kids. Lots of people have kids. You ever see kids, they just, you know, my daughter, she drives my son clean up the wall. She don't even have to be directly doing something to him. He just can't help but say, what are you doing, Alexis? Alexis, do you have to look like that? And I'm like, why are you so concerned? Let her be her and you be you. And I think sometimes in relationships, we kind of get in that trying to force people into something. Yes, some things take time. Some things take experience. Sometimes it's just, this is who you are. And you're not going to be different until you decide you're going to be different.
Yeah, that the difference is learning each other, being able to hear each other out, understanding where your spouse is coming from, knowing the experiences, knowing their hangups. You know, like certain things are unfortunately a trigger. And though I get it, you don't have the trigger. So you have no idea why this thing angers, bothers, aggravates your spouse so much.
Or hurts
so much. Those triggers need to be discussed. Yes, he or she may need to work on what's triggering them, but you need to exacerbate or aggravate that trigger
Big
by
word.
by constantly bringing it up or doing it. You're picking, right. You know this particular thing bothers your spouse. Just you should be there to try to keep from it happening. Unless only time if it's something like something the kids do, it's like, babe, I get it, but unfortunately, they're two. Like it's something that just it could be something that 2-year-olds do. Just like I try to make sure, that you don't see it. Like I try to make sure I get it. Just maybe something small. It's just, and she may explain like I don't know why, but it just, because sometimes you just don't. I don't know what it was. I don't know what I went through. It triggers me. But it's something that needs to be talked about. So it's like on both sides. So it's me trying to keep from it happening, or me trying to not do it if it's something I do, and then it's having a discussion where she may say, it's a trigger. I get it. If you could just not, I'm gonna try to work on myself. But it's kind of coming into agreement. But the moment that you, as the person that figures out the trigger, you can't pick at it. You're not the therapist. Like you can't, and you're not God. You can't fix it. This is just a trigger right now. So it's like, okay, we already know this is gonna set her off. And like I said, it comes from both sides. So if I got a trigger, I realize this thing that Sam does triggers me. We discussed it. She's trying not to, but I need to work on it myself as well, especially if it's something just natural life kind of, it's like you need to kind of try to figure out how to deal with it, or how to work on it, or not let it set you off. It's because some things you're never going to not be bothered by, but you learn how to deal with the feeling, so it's those conversations that you have to have. And then if it's something that you feel like you might want your wife to do, and she may not do that, and she may not do it because of something of the past or something that triggers her.
Or she just don't want to.
Oh, that too. That too. I mean, but you have the conversation.
Right.
Like, yeah, you always talk about, like, both sides should be willing to at least have the conversation, and if it's something that requires 0% from you and 100% from her, she makes a decision on it. It's not as long, at least to be life and death. It's like, she's like, yeah, it's not something I do, and from there, you just gotta kind of deal with it. Like it's just, but you have to have those conversations. The worst thing is to hold that stuff in, and just, it bothers you. It bothers you because it may not be something that you guys face every day or every week. It may be twice a year. It may be a holiday thing, and you in your mind like, I'm trying not to let it bother me. Whatever it may be, and she's gonna do it. But if you don't discuss it, because then she may be like, oh, I would have done that if you'd said something. Go ahead.
I think if we gave our spouses half of the grace we give our bosses,
right.
I don't think, I think our relationships would be better. But I think, after the day has gone, you've dealt with the boss you don't like, or the coworker that talk too much, or the one with bad breath that breathe talk, and then you come home and you have no patience, you have no grace left for the person that you love.
Right.
And like you've taken stuff all day from angry customers. You've taken stuff from.
Hey, thank you. Can you?
It's not that kind of anniversary.
Broadcast anniversary. Broadcast. Thank you, though.
So by the time you get home, like it's all gone.
Right.
We give grace to everybody.
Right.
The rude person that step on your foot. The person that gets on your nerves, to our siblings, sometimes to our parents. They get grace. They may make you angry. You don't say nothing. You come home and you dump it all on your spouse. Right. And they're just supposed to be able to take it. Right. And a lot of times we're unfair and we're selfish.
Yes.
And we don't even realize it. Yeah. And sometimes that extra moment that you take for self-evaluation can make your relationship a lot better. Like things between us changed more when I stopped. I feel anyway in my mind when I stopped trying to force him into a space.
Right. Just keep talking.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. How do you explain?
Auto.
I don't know.
How did that
I
apply to a
don't,
goldfish?
I don't know. Just.
I'm sorry. I don't even know.
The comment caught me off guard. I know.
Well, yeah, can't they see them anyway?
No, they can't see them until I put them up.
Okay,
Not for
well,
Facebook.
let's not put that.
Yeah.
I think we need to have a little more grace
Right.
with our spouses.
Right.
We have it everywhere else. Even if you fighting mad on the inside,
Right.
you will take your boss's crap because you're thinking, I need this job, I got bills.
Right.
Which is realistic. But then you get home and your husband say, you ain't cooked today, and you lose it.
Right.
Automatically. Then I'm supposed to cook. And we have no more grace. We have no grace for the people that we say we love the most.
Right.
Marriage, nobody has forced you into this.
Right.
This was something that you agreed to.
Right.
Marriage is an agreement between two people.
Yes.
You agreed to do life with me.
Right.
So treat me like this was a decision that you made.
Yeah.
Don't treat me like you're a prisoner or this is a decision that you were forced into.
Right.
It's a decision that you made. Right. And yeah, along the way, it may need some tweaking, and that's fine. We change, we grow.
Right.
The more time goes on, but adjust with your spouse.
Yeah.
Grow with your spouse.
Right.
Don't lead separate lives. Don't have a line of demarcation. You got a line drawn in the sand.
Right.
This I'm not. I won't.
Right.
My mama did this. I'll never do that. My auntie did this. I'll never do that.
Right.
I told my daddy take this. I'll never take that.
Right.
Your relationship is your own.
Yeah.
Make it your own. Live your life unapologetically and be happy, regardless of what it looks like to other people. Like, I'm so at the point, I don't care what we have looks like to anybody. Before I thought we had to look like a certain thing.
Yes.
Not that I was trying to change to fit it, but when we didn't look like it, I felt like it was broken.
Mm.
Time to throw it away. I mean, I was like, okay, well, in my mind, this is what we're supposed to look like.
Right.
And we don't look like this. So this must not be right. This is broken. This is not the right fit. Right. Let me toss it.
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't even, sometimes you ever look at something and sometimes you got to tilt your head a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, I got it. Right. Or you look at art, it's like, what do you see? Remember them ink blots? And everybody sees something different. Right. Marriage is just like that. Right. You and your spouse looking at the same ink blot.
Right.
You see a butterfly, he see a dragon.
Right.
So, for you want to get close and he like running for his life.
Right.
And it is just that simple. Your perception becomes your reality.
Right.
So, but if you don't talk about it, if you don't tell me what you see or what you're feeling in this moment, how do we adjust the reality? How do we make the reality livable for both of us?
That's true. Yeah, definitely. We have to, our perception, our perspective, don't try to figure it out. Don't let it cut you up. Oh, so yeah, we definitely, how we deal with each other, how we respond, the conversations we have, being intentional about the conversation you have. Like I said, the issues that you may have and like drawing the line in the sand. I mean, I get it with certain things. You just like, I'm never, it's over, and then having a picture of what your marriage should look like based on what you see others do or someone else is not always the healthiest, like certain basic stuff that you desire is fine, but it's those conversations that you have in order to fit what works for you guys, and not live in a fantasy land like it should look like this. Like for a long time, like Sam is very outspoken. She is straightforward. She don't do the like just the very surface talk for long. She'll probably cover for a minute, but she's not going to have meetings and talk and have a bunch of surface talk, and we don't go and get anywhere. And for a while, it's like, man, in my mind, and I might even say, I probably should have set up once, like, can you just get along to get along, just be apart, but it's what I've learned to love about her, that she is so unique as far as speaking her mind and not just what people saying, amen and stuff that just don't make sense. Like, nah, I can't rock with that, regardless of who they are, what level they are, like what authority they may hold or whatever. Just like, that still don't make sense, and it's what I love about her. It's helped me see things a little differently. It's helped me become better at doing certain things, because I'm not just following the guideline that other people have set, that you just like, do we really need all that extra? Like, you just got you can just do it, so it's our complementing each other that has helped us become a stronger couple. And it's, you never, and if you've been married any length of time, you already know you can't change your spouse. You cannot change who they are or what they do. Granted, you can, like I said, if there are things that they do that bother you, based on, like triggers or things of that nature, you have those conversations. But most you can do is like, okay, God, this is my spouse, and whatever she has, obviously we're going to work and make this thing happen together, however it pans out, however it goes forward. But you have the conversation. Like I said, if something bothers you, have the conversation, and it's to be had privately, not publicly. Like, if it's something that happens, like, all right, just get through the day. If it's in front of everybody, just like have it privately, because like we know just from having friends, public conversations are worse, because she may receive what I'm saying, but now it's public, so she got to be defensive, or becomes defensive. I know for me, I'm just like, I hear you, but you ain't had to call me out in front of, I get it, but you have to have those conversations, especially because you're a couple. We should be a unit. Every place you go, you rocking as a unit. You want, like, boom, we rocking this thing together. But it's having, like I said, having those conversations, knowing each other, learning what triggers each other. After a good couple of years, you kind of figure out the basics of what bothers the other person.
If you put the work in, though.
Yeah.
You have to spend the time to get to know each other.
Right.
All
That's
that
true.
falling in love, that quick, I knew love at first sight. Don't get me wrong. For some people, it works. For some people, they can do it and they be married forever. It does not work for everybody. You have to figure out what's the best method for your success in your relationship.
Right.
But you'll never be successful if you don't get to know each other.
Right.
And not just know them, but understand them. Like, sometimes you may know, like, I know if I throw one on him, he don't like it. But it's another thing to understand how, the water might make him feel some level of disrespect. So knowing somebody is one thing, but understanding them, that's, what separates a friend from a spouse. That's when you cross over into spousal territory, when you understand one another, not just know them. People know you all the time, or they think they do. But he understands me. Like, that's one of the things that separates him from everybody else. That's one of the things that's kind of always separated him, is he understood me. And those things are important.
Definitely.
In a relationship. Understanding, not just knowing.
Right.
You know a lot of stuff. It don't matter. You know that if you speed, you're going to get a ticket.
Yes.
It doesn't really stop people from speeding. But when you understand that speeding gets you a ticket. The ticket will raise your insurance.
Right.
The reason the insurance messes with your house budget.
Yeah.
Well, you mess with the house budget, you can't buy as many pairs of shoes.
Right.
See how like that understanding of it, it makes a big difference.
Right.
So I think we need to strive to understand one another,
Right.
not just know. I want to understand him. I want to understand why. The understanding is the why of the
Right.
thing. Why do you feel this way? Like, okay, you said you feel this way. Why? Let me understand why, and then I can respect it more.
Right.
It's just like a deeper level.
Yeah.
Taking the time to understand somebody means a lot. So you want to understand your spouse, not just know them. And like I said, these conversations, these are things that we talk about, like all the time. Things happen and we talk about it. We don't wait until, it's out of hand. We don't second guess.
Right.
Now, sometimes you might have to have the 24 hours. Sometimes it might be one of those things where I can't really verbalize right now
Right.
what it is and still be, conscious of your feelings or respectful. I just need a minute, and that's fine. That's fine to understand that, like you need a minute, and then come back and be able to explain how you're feeling to one another. That's important. I'm always going to take your feelings for granted if I don't know or understand what you're feeling.
Right.
Like I'm always going to disregard your feelings if I don't understand, what they are. So I think that's a big thing, striving to understand one another.
Yeah. I think that's if anything that we've taken away in the last 2 years, and just being on this broadcast, and that's just the anniversary we talked, just the anniversary of broadcast, having an opportunity to express our journey and the things that we learn and the way that we're growing as a couple, and things we're learning from other couples as well, is having that understanding. I think if anything, one of our biggest takeaways is having understanding each other, taking time to learn each other. This pandemic, though, has been disruptive. It's given us more time to spend together. It's given us more time with less distractions. So it's has given us that time to really build on each other and learn more about who we are and what we're doing together. And it's been good. It's been good. It's nothing's ever perfect, but it's been good.
It has been good and scary.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
All at the same time. I mean, good as in, we get along great, we communicate great and whatever, but scary in the sense of, really seeing the darkest corner of somebody else's mind and sharing yours in the process. Scary as in the more that we grow, our paths have started looking different together, but still just different than what we had imagined. So it's like new territory all the time. It seems like every time I get used to one thing, it seems like there's now just a little bit further. So it's great, and I feel like that's what most people should have in their relationship. Your relationship should cause you to do better, be better, go further, do more. In whatever area you feel like you're called to. Your relationship should push you to want to figure out, why am I here? Like what I was created, to love you, to be your spouse, to be the mother of your children, and what else? Because there's more to me than this.
Yes.
Because I had a whole life before I got to this.
Yes.
So, I think sometimes people are unfulfilled in relationship because they are unfulfilled within themselves. He can't make me whole. Now he could hold my hand and he could rub my back and he can, support me while I'm healing, while I'm becoming whole. But he can't make me whole, nor can I make him whole. But he helps the process along.
Yes.
He pushes me a little further.
Yes.
He supports me.
Mhm.
You know, the more that I strive and push, the more he supports.
Right. That's it in a nutshell. Support. Whatever gifts you have, and don't shape what's inside of your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shape. Let them be who they're going to be and go the direction they're going to go, but just encourage that direction. So make sure if you're nudging, make sure you're nudging in the direction that they see themselves going.
Right.
You know, not where you want them to go. There's a difference, you know, and I get it because, you know, and trust me, I'm a big dreamer. I see this, let's go over here and do this. I see all of that. I see it. And she's like, no, that's not it.
Right.
It's right here, not over there. You know, so it's allowing your spouse to grow in the direction she's supposed to go. You know, we want the best for our spouse, and I know sometimes the best looks like something else in our minds, but we got to let it go. Let it be the best in what she sees in her mind, and we push that, encourage that, and you'll be good. Good money.
Yeah, you never know. You add a little crayon to that thing, and the very thing that you see,
right,
she might start seeing too, and want to scoop her own eyeball out.
All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys hanging and rocking with us.
Yes,
Thank
and
you
we
for
know that we
listening.
have to earn you guys' support back because we have been MIA
Yes.
all month long, and it's fine. We are willing to do the work.
Yes.
While we're doing the work together, we will continue to come on and do the work in front of you guys and with you guys. But thank you so far for the 2-year support. It's been 2 years. It doesn't feel like it.
Right.
But it has been 2 years, and we have been on here, and we have been doing it on screen and off screen.
Yes.
And so we will continue to push, thrive, be better, and do better. So stay tuned for what we have going on next.
Yes.
You never know what it could be. But if you're not here, you'll miss it.
Yes, indeed. As
So-
always. Go ahead. You about to say it, so.
Love intentionally
Love unconditionally.
and love on purpose.
All right, guys. Have a great one. See you in the morning.
Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing